What if you turn 30 and you're nowhere near where you thought you'd be financially? No investment portfolio, no huge savings account, maybe some debt. And every time you hear someone say they started investing at 21, you wonder, have I already left it too late? No, but what happens next matters. Meet Emily. She's just turned 30. She has a steady job. Her income covers her normal life. But financially, she's been drifting. She has $1,900 in cash and $8,200 on a credit card. That means before we even count anything else, she's starting with a net position of roughly negative $6,300. And Emily's biggest problem isn't actually the $8,200. It's what she believes that number means. She thinks everyone else has already started. She sees people talking about investing, buying homes, building portfolios, and she thinks, what's the point? I'm already behind. But being behind and staying behind are two completely different things. So Emily doesn't start by trying to become wealthy. She starts with something much less exciting. She looks at her money, all of it, what comes in, what goes out, what she owes, and what she actually has. For the first time, the numbers aren't floating around in her head, they're sitting directly in front of her. Her first goal isn't investing, it's stability. Emily decides to keep $1,000 aside as a starter emergency buffer. Not 6 months of expenses, not some perfect number. Just enough so that every small surprise doesn't immediately go back onto the credit card. That changes something important. For the first time, she's creating distance between an unexpected bill and new debt. Then she focuses on the credit card. She stops treating the minimum payment like the target. She chooses an amount she can realistically repeat every month. Some months are better, some are worse. But the direction doesn't change. And slowly, $8,200 becomes $7,400, then $6,100, then $4,500, then $2,000, until eventually, zero. By around 33, Emily has done something that didn't seem particularly impressive while she was doing it. She's cleared the credit card debt, she's kept her emergency buffer, and now there's money in her monthly budget that used to belong to someone else. This is where the story changes, because she doesn't absorb all of that money back into her lifestyle. She redirects it. Emily starts investing, not thousands of dollars, not enough to impress anyone online. She starts with around $300 a month into a diversified, low-cost investment. Automatically, payday arrives. The money moves. Emily doesn't have to decide whether she feels motivated that month. The system makes the decision for her. And then, almost nothing exciting happens. That's important. Because wealth building doesn't suddenly turn Emily's life into a financial movie montage. She goes to work, she pays bills, she sees friends, she buys things, she makes mistakes, and every month the investment keeps happening in the background. $300, $300, $300. These are the years people underestimate. Then the car needs a major repair. A few years earlier, this would have gone straight onto the credit card. This time, Emily uses her emergency savings. It still hurts. She doesn't enjoy paying the bill. But there's an enormous difference between an expensive inconvenience and an expensive financial crisis. The repair doesn't erase 3 years of progress. Eventually, Emily checks her investment account. And for the first time, there are 5 digits sitting there. $10,000. It's not enough to retire. It doesn't make her wealthy. But psychologically, something has changed. She no longer sees herself as someone who's trying to start. She's someone who already started. By 35, Emily isn't suddenly rich. And that's exactly the point. She's debt-free. She has emergency savings. She's investing automatically. And she understands where her money is going. Compare that with 30-year-old Emily. Same person, 5 years, completely different financial direction. Over time, Emily's income improves. Not dramatically, but enough. And instead of letting every raise disappear into a more expensive lifestyle, she sends part of each increase toward her future. Her $300 monthly investment becomes $400. Later, $500. She's still spending more than she did at 30. She's still enjoying her life. She's just making sure her future gets a raise too. And if you're wondering what these numbers could look like with your own income, savings, and debt, that's exactly what the free calculators at cleareveryday.com are designed to help you explore. You can test different amounts and timelines yourself. Then come straight back because Emily hasn't reached the interesting part yet. Then Emily turns 40. Remember where she started? $1,900 in cash, $8,200 of credit card debt, and the feeling that she'd already missed her chance. Now she has no credit card debt, a proper emergency fund, and an investment portfolio that has been quietly growing for years. But something else has started happening. Her money is beginning to make money. In the beginning, almost all the growth came from Emily. She contributed the money, but over time, investment returns begin adding another layer. Those returns can potentially generate returns of their own. Then those returns can potentially grow too. That's compounding. It doesn't move in a perfectly straight line. Markets rise, markets fall. Nothing is guaranteed, but time gives compounding room to work. And Emily doesn't get 15 perfect years. At some point, markets fall. Her account balance drops. For a moment, years of disciplined investing suddenly look like they're moving backwards. Old Emily might have panicked, but this Emily understands something she didn't at 30. A falling investment balance isn't automatically a failed plan, so she keeps following the system. Now Emily is 45. 15 years have passed since that night at the kitchen table. She's not a millionaire. She didn't turn $1,900 into some ridiculous overnight fortune. But depending on her exact contributions and investment returns, she's potentially built an investment portfolio approaching or passing 6 figures. Add her emergency savings, and her financial position looks nothing like it did at 30. And that's before considering anything else she may own or have saved for retirement. Look at the difference. At 30, almost no savings, thousands in credit card debt, no investment system. At 45, no credit card debt, emergency savings, a growing investment portfolio, and 15 years of financial habits behind her. But here's where this gets really interesting. Emily still has time. Suppose Emily has roughly $100,000 invested at 45, and from there, she continues investing $500 every month. If her investments averaged around 7% annually over the long term, and remember, that's an illustration, not a guarantee, by age 60, that combination could potentially grow to roughly $390,000. Emily didn't start at 18, she didn't start at 21, she didn't get a 10-year head start. She started at 30 with debt. And that's what makes this story important. Starting earlier would have helped, but starting later was still far more powerful than never starting because she thought she'd missed her chance. So what actually changed Emily's life? It wasn't one investment, it wasn't a secret stock, and it wasn't becoming obsessed with money. She built a buffer, she removed expensive debt, she automated investing, she increased contributions when she could, and when life became messy, she didn't abandon the entire system. None of those decisions looks dramatic by itself. Together, they're powerful. The danger isn't turning 30 without a big investment account. The danger is turning 30, deciding you're already too late, and using that belief to wait until 35. Then 40, then 45. You can't change when you started yesterday. You can change what happens next. So, if you're 30 and wondering whether you've left wealth building too late, ask a different question. Not, why didn't I start earlier? Ask, what could happen if I start now? Because the next 15 years are going to pass either way. If you're starting today, let me know in the comments what you're working toward. Maybe it's paying off debt, building an emergency fund, starting to invest, or simply getting more organized with your money. You don't need to share any personal numbers, just the goal you're focusing on. And if you want to start working through your own numbers, You can use the free calculators at cleareveryday.com. Subscribe to Clear Everyday for more simple money explanations without the hype.